Hello and welcome to the PoPcast with our today's topic: how to start off in the film and media industry in Germany. I have my three lovely guests here, and yeah, how about you guys start with introducing yourselves?
All right, you're looking at me, so
Yeah.
I'll start it off, I guess. Hi, my name is Matthias, and I'm a filmmaker. I mainly do promotional videos and recruiting films to find new employees in the B2B sector for all kinds of industries.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Michael. I'm a full-time freelance video editor and motion designer. I mostly do commercials and social media about for brands such as Porsche or Aldi. Yeah, guess that's it.
Okay, Fabian, it's your turn.
Okay. Yes, hello. My name is Fabian Schmitz. I'm founder and owner of the company Film Agentur. I founded this company after my studies, and I'm responsible for the whole production. So I'm not a content creator as a part of a content creative production, like a POP or sound recorder or editor. So I'm responsible for the contact with the customers and shoot commercial videos, image films, corporate movies, recruiting movies, branding, something like this.
Today's topic is about what you can do to get your foot in the industry and get your business started as a media professional, so to speak. And I'm starting out currently, and that's why this topic is quite important for me, so I can learn from people that are already having a foot in the industry. I start with like getting recommendations from my girlfriend and other friends to like, hey, you do videos, you want to do that?
You want to do that for free?
Yeah, sure. Actually, I already get paid, so I mean not that much, but I thought it would be. Well, I'm quite happy that I have the opportunity to learn through that for like personal contracts. But I know that maybe it seems a little braggy, but maybe underpay myself because it's like a friend price and whatever.
You know what friend price is? It's twice as much as the normal price. They're friends. They want to support you. So that's the friend price.
Yeah, and that's what I would start off. How did you guys manage to get from the like job to job basis to like, yeah, it's working out, you have enough income, you have recurring jobs? Yeah. Who wants to start?
I mean, I could start.
Yeah.
I studied film editing. So while I was doing that, I was doing some small projects for like casting and for TV projects. I was not paid good, but I think that is just the norm because, I mean, as a student, it was really good money, but now to think back, it was severely underpaid. But I guess that's just how it goes in the media industry. Either you're lucky and can get started immediately with good payment, or you have to work your way up with free projects in the beginning and then get the good money later. After I graduated from university, I was pretty lucky because I got a recommendation from a friend to work with Porsche, and
That's quite lucky.
that was quite lucky.
What you did there?
The internal brand academy. So kind of like the international first thing that people who get into working for Porsche, they get
Training videos for
Exactly.
employees. Okay.
so kind of like a history, kind of what Porsche is all about, the history, the future, and the philosophy of Porsche itself. So I was really lucky to get into that because it also got a Red Dot Design Award. So
And Porsche looks good in the portfolio as well.
Definitely.
I imagine.
Definitely. I was working there with them for 2 years almost exclusively. But yeah, after a while, it just kept trickling down a bit, so I started doing my own website, which was a really big step into getting seen as a professional. So that was kind of the first step to work as a full-time filmmaker.
Yeah, similar for me as far as you don't get paid anything, you do free projects and then you go up the ladder step by step is concerned. However, I didn't study it. Like I just came in by coincidence. I started out making music. I've done music for, I guess, 10, 15 years. Back then, one of my first music video, had it shot. Didn't like the result. Was like, okay, I can do that better because I wanted more music videos, and I bought my first camera and realized very quickly that standing in front of the camera and behind the camera is not so easy, not at the same time. So I ended up standing more behind the camera and did music videos for friends, for bands I knew I liked, for artists, and then quickly started doing photography as well. And through that process, like I did covered a lot of different fields of photography and in film as well, but mainly photography. And then in 2013, I turned self-employed and again started doing more film because people asked for it. It was mostly a PS. It was like, can you take one headshot photo of me, one portrait, and also PS, do you do film? Yes, I do. And the nice thing about that,
guy, right?
and the nice thing about that is, of course, you would earn more money with a film than with video than with one single photo, unless you're a well-known artist. Maybe then it's a.
So my next question would be, what was like the biggest hurdle, or what would you guys wished sooner when you got started in the whole film media industry, that would have made your lives a little bit easier?
I would say money is a big thing in the beginning.
Finding the right price, right? Yeah, for me as well.
Yeah. What I said. I think the first year, and maybe even longer if I count the study time, was a big thing that I didn't know exactly how much I can charge for anything. Because when we were studying, we didn't get to know that information, and I didn't know many professionals yet. So it was a big thing in the beginning to like figure out how much you can charge. So after I joined the BFS, which is a group for editing communities, to talk about money, day rates, how you can charge, what you have to think about before you charge, was a big thing.
It's amazing though, right? Like I didn't study, as I said, but I would have thought that when you studied, like that's something they would tell you. Like how about you, Fabian? Did they tell you in university?
No, but I hope for it. So yes, we also did not know at the beginning how much is what's the value of our work. Yeah? And at the first project, we get a budget from the customers, and so we did not have the challenge to think about our prices. But what we did doing was to count the hours we have to work for the project, and then we thought about how much is our Stundenlohn of English, I don't know.
Hourly rate.
How much is,
Yeah.
again?
Hourly rate.
Yes, hourly rate, thank you. And so with this information, you can rate a little bit and think about what's the value of your work. And so, and the second was at the beginning, I did not know how much costs I will have for taxes and for insurances and so on, because after I did study it, I did not know what I have to pay for it, and now I have family and kids and so.
Now you know.
The taxes and so get higher, and so that's also was nothing that that we get learned in our studies.
How did you find out how much you are worth? Just
I go to the post box and open the sheets from the insurances, and
I'm worth more now.
and so much money I have to pay back for. What is the Finanzamt in English? You know.
Yeah, just the finance people.
Yeah.
The government wants the money.
Yes, and so because at the first years you have to pay for the last year and for the actual year and forward it for the next year, and so it's a huge amount of money you have to pay for the taxes the first time, and so I think it's something which do not know a lot of freelancers in the first 2 years, that there's some days there comes a post where you have to pay a lot of money for this.
So you finished your studies and right away founded the company. When you started out, were you like 3 or 4 people, or did you had already a larger team, or how did that all work out?
Yes, at first we had been 3 people. One guy was specialized in doing web things, homepages, flyer design, and something like that. He goes out after 4 years, I would say, and now I have one of my friends from the studies, so we are together, the founders in this company. So 2 people. Lex and me, we are the CEOs.
Interesting. So you didn't find other people and ask them like how much they make. You just saw like you paid a lot of money, so you have to make more than that to actually get.
Yes. It was learning. It was a little bit learning by doing. So yeah.
Interesting.
Cool.
Maybe when the third person with whom we have founded, we already worked as a freelancer, and so we know a little bit the tax rates and the rates for 1 day working and so.
I mean that there are some sheets that are for TV productions, but I think in freelancing or doing advertising, for example, shooting commercial, you always have to go a little bit project by project, because what the client wants is always a bit different. Also, how many people do you need? I don't know. Do you Fabian probably work as a team, but for you, do you do everything alone, or do you have I don't know, for 3D animation, for example, you hire someone else, or how do you guys manage your projects? How do you go about it?
I guess he wouldn't hire somebody else for 3D animations, would he? I don't know, but I would, because I can do it, right? So if there's an expert in any other field, then of course hire them. I only hire freelancers. I don't have any employees or anything like that. But on a project-to-project basis, as you said, it might make sense to hire more people, or if there's 3 cameras in the room, I would even hire a second camera person just to be on the safe side, you know?
Yeah.
And if it's anything special.
Yeah. Since I'm a freelancer, I don't really hire someone else. I know a couple of people who I work with all of the time, for example, color grader or sound people. So I give my edit to the sound people or the color grader, because it's always better to have specific tasks for the specific people.
Yeah.
So of course, often I have to do it by myself because the budget is gone. So, but in most cases, I would like that get people for the different jobs to get the best product.
And how do you guys do it, Fabian? Do you have professional for everything as an employee, or do you also hire external people for certain projects?
No, we hire external people. At the beginning, we try to make everything at our own, small team, and shooting and editing and so on. But in the post-production process, we did have at the beginning partners for doing animations. I think that's some part. It is good that there are specialists on it, that you don't have to do this at your own. But in the production, we did try to make everything at ourselves because we had a higher rate for this. Freelancer was too expensive to engage. But today we try to call freelancers. We have a fixed team of freelancers. I would say 10 people. In fact, not for editing. Editing we are doing in our house here in our office. Some people, but on the film set, we have content creator, DOPs, which are also used to do a little bit light, and to direct a little bit too. So yes, that's content.
So what's your usual crew size? Like when you guys do, I mean, we all do like advertising kind of stuff, right? Maybe you more online?
Yeah, more social media. Mostly.
Yeah.
I do less advertising, more like promotional videos in German image film, right? It's different than commercials.
Yeah.
Very different, like not scripted, like I work a lot with interviews and so on, and it's mostly only me. So first half of the day interviews, second half of the day extra shots, and then when and if the project gets bigger, there's other people involved.
Okay. So usually you guys work on your own, and because I also, I mean, I have my friends and contacts as well that help me out. Where I was also wondering, okay, like thinking a bit further ahead from like getting from like standard jobs like 1,500 euros for a project to like higher paying bigger projects. Like who do you gonna hire? Who should you hire? Because I think as a freelance, everyone knows a bit about everything, like a little sound design, a little bit animation, but we all have like our specific field that we are like actually professional in. Yeah. So any advice from you guys how to go about that? Or
I think it's as Fabian said, no? Like Fabian, you mentioned you have like 10 different freelancers that you know and that you like to work with, and then you can rely on them. And I think that's the most important thing, right? So if you have your circle of friends and colleagues, then you know what they can do for any specific kind of job that might be very specific, or it might be more general. And then you can hire them and or even send them to the client. You know, like now in December I was gone for holiday, and I had a friend. I had a client request. Couldn't do it myself, so I had a friend of mine who does film and photography as well go there, shoot on my behalf, and I knew I could rely on him because I know he's good, and so then I edited it. So that worked out well. But if you have to hire people you don't know or you haven't worked with before, then it might be harder, I think.
Yeah, you need a good network, definitely.
Yeah.
You need to know who's good enough as well.
Nice that you mentioned it, because I think everyone knows like film or media, especially it's like a people's business. Like if you know certain people, you just get like hired for a job only because you know that one person that looks for someone that can create videos. So any advice how to network properly and where to find good people? Because I mapped out like every film festival that happens this year, because I thought maybe just going there is a good idea. Could you guys recommend this, or more like search for Facebook groups or
Well, I definitely have something to say about that, but maybe you want to start, Fabian or Michael?
Yes, I want to add something important for me when we shoot our freelancers or partners we are working for. When the customer, the company comes to us and asks for shooting a film, we present reference projects to our portfolio, and which kind of movies we already make. And it is important that when the company decided to, after a pitch, to work with us, that they also get the quality of the projects I have presented. So for the company, it's not good to get nice suites in the pitch and look at the nice suites, and then on the production there are people which are not so used and not so good. And so for me, it's important to have a fixed team which I can book when I have a new production and can deliver a quality and style, mood, movies which the company already knows. So in German we say the Erwartungsmanagement, that the people know who pay for us, that they know what they get. So yes, it's always important to have a good network and to have a plan B and C. And if the time is stressful, for us it's always in autumn and the springtime, because the budgets are free and we can shoot. Yes, I would say everybody has to have to look after a network in his town, because it is important to deliver the footage, the material, the hard drives through the country, because sometimes things have to be do fast and things have to be, post get lost. So for us, it is important to have a network at our hometown.
So around Dresden.
Around Dresden or Berlin or Cologne, or however the production is. But if a movie is shot in Berlin or Dresden or Cologne, we try that also the movie is edited there.
Since I mostly work in a home office by myself, after Corona, it was quite different, I think. Like Corona changed a lot. So,
how was it before Corona? I mean, you probably still work from home before Corona as well, right?
Not really. I mean, most of the time I go to the agency, because I mostly work with agencies. So I go to the agency at, let's say, 10 and leave at 6. So
they provide you with like computers where you can edit and stuff. Okay.
Most of the time, they have a specific, specialized room for that. Often,
like with the big boy equipment where you have like your free monitor to set up and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So after Corona hit, everything kind of changed into more like a home office kind of type of deal.
Yeah.
So I work a lot from home, so the network kind of suffered from that, it feels like. So a lot of email contact and Zoom calls. It's how I got into my network. I write a lot of cold emails to new agencies that I never worked with, or old agencies that I work with.
So you cooperate mostly with agencies, and then they reach out to you. Yeah, well, we have the job. Can you edit this and that?
Exactly. Either they reach out to me, or I reach out every 3 to 4 months. Hey, how's it going? What did you last do? I did this. Talk a bit on Zoom call or whatever, and then either they have a project and we can talk about it, or I just go to the next agency and ask them. So for me, that is how I network online mostly.
So also only the agencies that provide you with jobs and I don't know, maybe other contacts if you need, for example, lighting technician for whatever job, or do you only do post-production?
I mostly do post-production nowadays. So I don't have much to do with the filming itself. But for the post-production, there's also audio and color grading. So I know a couple of people that I can recommend to the agency, like, hey, I know we have a bit of budget left, so how about we bring in this guy, and he brings in me for other projects. So it's like a give and take.
Yeah.
So there's really different kinds of networks, right? And we mentioned two. Fabian mentioned the freelancers, like the people he works with. That's the network that you need to rely on and so on. Michael mentioned agencies. And the networking I think is most important is with end clients. If you work for end clients, if you work for agencies, of course, that's your go-to place, right? But the actual clients or potential clients. So the network I'm most interested and most active in is BNI, Business Network International. It's a worldwide network where you have different kinds of people. And it's not really about going there and selling to them, right? But to like for them to open up their network for you, that you're part of the group. So you get to know them each week, very early in the morning, earlier than other people would get up. But then you have the full day ahead of you, and it's not split up or anything. And then you get to know each other, and you start trusting each other, and then you can recommend your own network to them. Like if one is looking for tax advice, I will say go to Claudia. And if somebody's looking for a guy like me, they might think of me and say, oh, go to Matthias. And so that I think is most important, because oftentimes people think of network as their colleagues, which might be important, as we found out, but it's not what brings you money. It is if you can rely on them, but it's not the people who give you jobs.
But how does your how can I imagine this network? Is like a I don't know, Facebook group, or is it
live? It's live.
Okay, but it sounds like I don't know, specific VIP club, or did you just meant by going out there and try to get to know as many different people as you can? Or like
BNI, I joined through a different network, and I met people there, and they were like, hey, I'm going to some, you said club, call it that, whatever. I'm going to some club some network every week. Why don't you join? And then I did, and it was the best decision ever, because step by step you get to know everybody, and it's just so like you're not in your home office. You see people, you talk to people, you get to know other other
like
self-employed.
You really met. I don't know the English word right now, but like a Stammtisch kind of, or
not that. It's a good word, and hopefully you can write it down in English. I don't know what it is. RubTube or something. Exactly. So it's more than that, because Stammtisch, it would be something like, let's have a beer, let's talk, let's laugh, let's have a good time and get to know each other as well. They have an agenda, and you have like
it's more business related.
Yes, and networking related. So it's more structured than that. It's an American thing. Not everybody likes it, but I found it's very, very helpful.
More straightforward. You get to the point.
Yeah, exactly. You know you're there to make money, but with people that you like, not just make money in order to make money. But that's the end goal, if you will.
I would say both are important. Like,
of course.
You need the first contact to like get to know them on a personal level as well as the professional level.
Yeah.
Those are two distinct like differences. It feels like often when you do a Zoom call with someone, you will just be on a professional level, but never on a personal. It feels like so. I think it's important to also sometimes give the people like time to like make a personal relationship.
Yes.
Clients or colleagues.
And give them time. That's the exact like you made that point clear. Like it's really like that. You need time, and you have the time because you see regularly every week. With other networks, I've been to many networking events. Sometimes in the evenings, sometimes in the mornings. Like you see the people. A month or 2 months later, it might happen again, but then there's different faces, so you don't really see them again unless you meet personally, and then it's different, right?
But if I want to get into those kind of circles, do I just Google it, or how do I find the best networking events?
You're in Berlin, and the best, there is no best. You might like a
just
different
check
networking
them out
group.
and see what fits.
Exactly, if you like it, you know if it's for you, and if it's for you, then go there more often. But there's so many different groups, networking, industry groups, whatever.
Yeah, that's why I asked for your experiences.
BNI.
Okay.
That.
Write this down.
You have to be committed.
I'm not being paid, by the way.
The only thing that you need a shirt with like printed on it.
Yeah.
Maybe there's someone in the network that can help you out.
I think one of the most important things is being committed to like this industry. Like if you're not committed enough, you will not succeed in this profession. I think like you need to have it kind of as a hobby and as a profession. At least it feels like that to me. Like if you just care about the money, I don't think that area is the best way for you.
So while we are on the topic, how do you get clients? And most of the time you want to not only do one-off projects with someone, you want to establish like a business relationship. So if they need an additional video, they come back to you and give you another project to work on that you get paid for. So what is like, what can you recommend me, for example, how to get like clients or new clients or recurring jobs? Because mostly I got recommended through friends, but I also thought about, because I want to focus on small to mid-sized business, like, I don't know, for example, like a flower store, do like an image video for them, a restaurant, for example, and yeah, so I just go there, introduce myself, maybe show some of my earlier projects, and also like, of course, emails and stuff. But yeah, that's my ideas. I think could work. But what do you guys recommend for that?
I think your approach is the more interesting one for something like this, because I do cold emails often. So that is a bit different because I don't get projects. I get like contacts of agencies and they come to me with projects. Like I don't go to clients to ask for a project.
It's still one way to do it.
Yeah.
Well, the better way is to have the clients, potential clients, approach you and ask you, can you do it? You know, like the other way around, like if they already know you, if you've been recommended and so on. And just as a side fact, I never wrote a single cold email or made a single cold call in my life.
That is so interesting.
So how did you do it? Just about your network?
Networking, yeah. It was different networks before, but that's how I started out, yeah. And recommendations, as you said. Once you work for somebody and then being like asked by somebody else, hey, they told me about you, can you do that?
So interesting that we have like the exact opposite
approach.
Like I get 90% of my clients with cold calls. So I don't know anyone.
So you can't do it wrong, can you?
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. Fabian, what about you?
How do you get clients?
I think first of all you have to think about what kind of clients you want to have.
Yeah.
So if it is okay for you to make movies for automotive or for industry or for business to customer brands, or do you want only make big half-breaking movies for cinema or just promotional videos? I think every freelancer has to think about this in a silent minute, what kind of perfect client you would have, and then you can think about what kind of wishes and needs has this client. And I think if you are working for an agency, so the client has a need to get fast and good work, which is reliable to the goals that the agency has. We, as our company, we worked for other agency classic public relations agencies, and for us it didn't work good because it was a lose-lose situation. We did not have fun for the work because the agency makes a lot of rules we have to follow, and the agency did not earn a lot of money because
maybe
our rates was too high.
Can you maybe say what worked out for you, because we don't have that much time left? So what worked for you to get recurring clients?
Yeah, for us it works good to have a good website, to make search engine optimization, that clients, companies, the end customers find us, and yes, we work for it. So the disadvantage is we have to make a lot of teaching for the clients because they are not used to make movies. If you are working for agency, it is daily business to produce videos. Yes, so that works for us. Good.
Okay, then thanks to you three for joining me in the podcast and giving some statements and opinions about the industry. Yeah, it was nice having you here, that everything worked out. For me, definitely first win of the year, having you guys here. That right, perfect. So yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye.